You say, if I say that, move, inspire, and succeed. I'm sure you would love all three words. Here is a personality who has not only lived, not only preached, but these three words he has digested in his life. Yes, he is none other than Sanjay Mehta. Here is a small introduction about him. But before I read it out for you, let me welcome Sanjay Mehta. A very big namaste to you, Sanjay bhai. So nice of
Namaste,
you
Dinesh.
for being with us. So nice of you. Thank you very much. Tonight,
Thank you.
we are privileged to host Sanjay Mehta, a globally renowned coach, mentor, and seasoned sales professional with over 30 years of international business experience. His mission is to move people, not just motivate them, redefining what success truly means through his celebrated Success Matters podcast and his work empowering the next generation. Wow, great. Tighten your belt and be prepared to get inspired by his unique perspective on transformation and actionable success strategies. Once again, welcome to Sanjay Bhai. And within about 30 seconds or so, would you like to tell and about yourself? And then we will directly proceed for the questions. Sanjay Bhai, please go ahead.
Thank you. Well, namaste once again, Dinesh bhai. Um, so a little bit about, I'm not sure I can add much more to the wonderful introduction you gave there. As you said, I've got over 30 plus years of uh, career experience working in small businesses in the large corporate world. I've worked on multi-million dollar contracts, had a sales background, and have been coaching people. And throughout my sales journey, one of the things that struck me was that success is measured by one metric and one metric only, which is your sales number. And people are judged, right, whether they're good people or bad people, whether they're successful people or unsuccessful people, just on that one thing, that one sales number. And of course, success is far more than that. So I set up Success Matters, both from a coaching perspective and from a podcasting perspective, to help people find their own success, as well as to understand what success means to other people. So that's a bit about my background.
Great, beautiful. I loved it, especially when you thought of helping others. Perhaps that is the best prayer to the God for me, at least. Wow.
Yes.
Well,
Being in service of others is actually one of the key things. It took a bit of time for me to realize and recognize that that's what my mission was. And actually, it happened when I was in my sales role, where it was, I suddenly realized actually, I'm not selling something. I'm helping a customer achieve an outcome based on what I've got to offer them. And therefore, you are in service to them. And so then extending that into other things, other aspects of my life and my work has been a key transformation for me.
great, great, lovely. Well, here is the question that my listeners have sent to me. And
Hmm.
the first question goes like this, Sanjay bhai. The most common definition of success is often financial. For your success matters philosophy, how do you help people shift their perspective beyond purely
Mm.
transactional, sorry.
Okay. And to the transcendental in many ways. So I think there's a number of factors here. One is that yes, success is often measured by monetary, by
Mhm.
those material things, right? The amount of money you got in your bank, the type of house you have, the car you drive, all those things that people put on Instagram. Look at me, look how wonderful my life is. But really and truly, yes, of course, we need certain things, right? We need a roof over our head. We need money to be able to buy food. We need to have the utilities, the the running water, the electricity, all those things. So there's a base level we absolutely need. But beyond that, it's really about what's, if we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's something called self-actualization where you've gone through those steps and now you're actually doing things that are generated by your purpose and your values. And so taking a look at what's important to you, what your
Mhm.
purpose is, like I said, service was one of those elements, and the values that you hold. When you can start to live your life according to that, then it doesn't matter about the amount of money you have or don't have or those material things because you're feeling much more fulfilled. And truly, a successful life is one where you are really and truly fulfilled and you are serving the purpose that you have and you're really able to, flourish as a result of that.
Yes, you are very right. When you are serving, you yourself also is flourishing. Very correct.
Mm.
Well, my next question is Sanjay bhai, having worked across diverse global market for 30 years, great.
Hmm.
What is the single most significant universal truth you have discovered about effective sales and business development, regardless of the culture or the industry? What would you say? Sanjay bhai, please.
Wow, that's quite a deep question. So, working across multiple countries, multiple cultures, um, the single universal truth, I think it really kind of goes back to what I just said, right? If when you're working in the service of those people, then it doesn't matter what their background is, what language they speak, what their culture is, because that is really that crosses all boundaries. If you start to think about people, people might say people from that culture are like this, or people from that country are like that, or you've got to operate in that way. Yes, there are some cultural elements you need to be aware of, and there are some cultural nuances that exist. Certain rituals, certain styles, certain ways in which the management chain might operate in an
Yes.
organization. But ultimately, if you're there to serve them and you put all those other things aside, then absolutely, that's a universal truth. That's something that crosses all boundaries.
Yes. When you are saying the rituals and all, they really matters most in all part of life, especially in the business. You are
Mm.
correct. Well, this is the question that is most important for me at least, and that is, Sanjay bhai, you coach people to be moved rather than motivated. What
Hmm.
is the critical difference between these two states? And what is the one technique that you use or you will suggest me to use to help the client move from the temporary motivation to permanent? What is that
Mm.
authentic change?
Yeah. So there's a number of things here. The first is really sometimes people just need a bit of motivation, right?
Right.
They just need some motivation in their life, and but that doesn't necessarily move them to where they want to be. So if we stop and think about coaching clients that I have, they usually want to achieve some sort of goal, whatever that goal might be, and that goal is usually yeah 2 to 3 years away because it's a big thing they want to do. So I could motivate them and they could just achieve small steps in that, or I could help them move. And so it's almost like taking the analogy of there's a mountain that you want to climb over there. And at the top is that pot of gold, that target that you're hitting, whatever it is that you want to achieve. How are we going to get to that point? How can I help you achieve that? And so as the guide along that journey, I'm helping them to move through that. And they'll, of course, you will hit snags. You will hit points where you think that's the path I've got to take, but actually that path is now blocked and you've got to take a
Correct.
different path. Or there may be things that life throws at you that means that you've got to think about maybe moving backwards to move forwards and all those sorts of elements. But as someone who coaches people, there's a number of techniques that I can use. So I'm an NLP coach, I'm an NLP practitioner. There's things like understanding, as I said, the values and purpose that people have. There is understanding those limiting beliefs that people have that are holding them back. Oftentimes people will say, I can't do that. You know,
Hmm.
there's that mountain to climb. I can't climb a mountain. Well, actually, you can. Every day you're climbing a mountain. So, how do we create a plan that's going to move you step by step to that point and keep you on that journey? Whilst keeping you accountable, right? Because we have to have accountability partners as part of what we do. And also then being that person that can help to guide you should the path become blocked or should the path become one that's really difficult to, overcome. So those are the sorts of things that I would say are the difference between being motivated, which is I want to do something and okay, I'll put my running shoes on and I'll go for a run versus being moved where you're looking at a target, the target being to run a 10K or a marathon or something of that nature, and how do I achieve that and how do I get there? So that's the quick analogy that I can think of.
Yes, very correct. The steps are very simple, but because it is simple, people don't believe it or people don't practice it. Yes,
hmm
perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to break those big things down into the smaller steps,
Hmm.
and then we work through it. We build on that, we build on that, we build on that. And one of the people I spoke to just the other day, I asked him, why does he do what he does? And fundamentally, that's the fundamental question,
Hmm.
because what he does is one thing,
Hmm.
but the why is the thing that people will buy from him, right? That's what will make them come to him to say, okay, I want your service or I want your products. And that's our starting point really in any conversation.
Yes, because as soon as you appeared on the screen, immediately you ask, "What do you do?" So
Mm,
that is the perhaps the first question that one should ask, one should understand, and one should think of. Lovely,
yes.
great.
Yes. I asked you what was the purpose of your podcast, right? That was what I asked you.
Yes, yes, yes. You asked me also. Yes, good. But anyway, I would love to come back to you and get some more guidance from you.
hmm
I request you to spare little bit of your valuable time, please. Thank you. Let me come to the next question, Sanjay bhai. The you do mentoring and that too for the next generation. Because
Mm,
I read somewhere that for the next generation, there are ample avenues to spend money, but there are very few avenues to earn money. So, Sanjay bhai, mentoring the next generation, if it is the key part of your purpose, then what is the biggest blind spot or the misconception about the career success you see in the young entrepreneurs and the professionals today? And what actionable advice do you give to overcome it?
mm. So Dinesh, Bhai, I think there's at the current generation, we've got AI, right, is there, and people are concerned that AI is going to take their jobs. They're concerned about the fact that, a whole load of tasks that used to be knowledge-based work will be taken over by AI.
Right.
And to an extent, that's true. To an extent, some of the more mundane, menial things that we do will be taken over by AI, but the majority of it will be enhanced by AI. So it still needs the human interaction, it still needs the human perspective on it. It still needs the critical thinking. It still needs the human eye. It still needs the emotional intelligence that we all have. So when it comes to mentoring, the future generations, well, there's two sides to this. One is there's those future generations that I mentor as part of my work and what I do. And so when they're sort of typically graduates who've come into the world of work and they're thinking about, well, what will my future look like? And especially with the kind of world of AI that we have. But the other part is then mentoring kids who are still at school or kids who've maybe not had an opportunity to get the experiences that other kids have had. And so through the Blue Bike Foundation, for which I'm the chairperson, that's
Mm-hmm.
what we look to do is to provide experiences to children that maybe they would not have had before. And the bike is a good metaphor for the sort of things that we look to skill children with. when you learn to ride a bike when you're young, 6, 7, or 8 years of age, that bike gives you freedom to explore your neighborhood. It gives you a skill and a capability that you carry through with you for life so that when you're a student at a university or college, you can do a side job delivering food or doing something of that nature. And when you're an adult, you can go roaming on your bike. You can make it part of your exercise regime. It can be the thing that takes you to and from your place of work, right? So learning that one skill of riding a bike has such a knock-on effect for the rest of your life. And those are the sorts of skills we look to help provide. And that is through mentoring in schools, that is through running some programs. And that's how we look upon mentoring, the future generations. And on the point of AI, when the internet came out and became a popular thing, people thought the internet's going to mean jobs are going to go, right? People thought, oh, all this automation, whatever, is going to affect me. But the reality is, it created a whole new set of jobs we couldn't even imagine.
Correct.
Like search engine optimization. Who would have thought 20 years ago that you would have jobs for search engine optimization? And yet that's a role and that's a pretty well paid role. So there'll be jobs we can't even imagine today that people will be, able to go after.
Yes, very correct. And especially for your mentoring the youth generation, in case if I can fit, I would love to join that mission. And Sanjay bhai, I really proud to announce here that my grandchildren, both are girls, one is 9 and one is 14. But
Mhm.
his father is a financial advisor. And luckily, by grace of God, both of them, at least they understand what is money, how to spend, where to save, how to just stop wasting it. I'm so
Mm.
thankful to his father, to the family, that it's very important to plant the seed of savings and investment in the children.
So
Yes.
there's an interesting concept here as well when it comes to money, which
Hmm.
is around people's relationship with money.
Hmm.
And one of the things is that if you've been brought up in a world where there isn't much money available, you don't realize that there's money available in other sources, if this makes sense, right? So
Oh.
if you think about someone who grew up in a family of, I don't know, bankers, right? They know how to get hold of money to make things happen for them. If you grew up in a family of factory workers, they might not know how to get hold of that money. It
Hmm.
doesn't make one person more intelligent or better than the other, but there's a relationship with money that we also need to be mindful of because that does affect how people are able to get on in life. And changing sometimes mindsets around money is part of that journey that I take people on to move them from A to B.
Very correct. So, as you said, that relationship with money, we have the relationship with the family, friends, relatives, but that too with the money is also equally important.
Mm.
Yes. Well, Sanjay bhai, I got so many questions to be asked, but the time doesn't allow me. But still, one of the favorite question, one more that I would like to ask you is, Sanjay bhai, if a high performer is currently feeling stuck or plateaued, what is the first, smallest, and effective micro action that can be taken tomorrow, including me for me also,
Hmm.
to reignite their momentum and regain clarity on their next major breakthrough? What would you suggest? Sanjay bhai, please.
Okay. I'm going to suggest three different things depending
Mm-hmm.
on what your particular motivation is. So, first option is to journal, to write down every day things that you're doing. Are you feeling fulfilled? Are you feeling interested? Are you kind of satisfied? What's your kind of goal, right? It's just simple, literally writing simple things down, not long notebook notes or anything. Just start writing. So that's one option. That's option number one. And it suits some people, it doesn't suit other people. The second option is something you offer, which is meditation. So literally to stop and take moments for yourself and reflect and clear your mind and take the opportunity just to recognize the feelings that you have, why those things are affecting, what does it bring up in you? How can you clear that blockage? Right? So meditate on that. That's an option for some people. And then the third, as a small micro action, is actually to recognize that, okay, I'm feeling stuck, but ask yourself, why am I feeling stuck? And keep on asking yourself why until you get to the root of that, right? So you'll need to ask yourself why 5 times, 7 times, even 9 times. So you get to the real root of why you feel stuck, and then you can do something with that. So those are three micro actions, if you like, that people could take depending on which their preference is.
Okay, thank you. Well, let me shift my vehicle in the other direction, and here are a few of the rapid fire questions which I
Okay.
would love to ask you and request you to be as short as possible.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I have joined this platform from another account and which is already exhausted. So it says upgrade. So only 10 minutes are left for us. So we
Okay.
have to complete the session within 10 minutes. Otherwise, I have got the paid account, but this is the problem. But anyway, let us overcome it. Well, here is the first question that I would like, and I will request you to reply as fast as possible.
Okay.
Your personal mantra. What is your personal mantra for overcoming self-doubt? A single phrase. What it would be?
Luck is all around us like the wind. You just need to make the sails to catch it.
Perfect, perfect. And one non-negotiable morning routine habit that you have adopted.
Breakfast. As soon as
Beautiful.
I wake up, I have breakfast.
Lovely, lovely. Yes. Most of the people they escape it, but that is most important. Yes. The most underrated skill in modern business. What would you say?
Empathy.
Did you say?
Empathy.
Empathy. Yes, yes, yes. Very correct. And the book that you would recommend most often. Title of it.
Okay, Atomic Habits.
Mhm.
There's probably
For you,
about
if
10
given
books I
a
could
choice,
recommend,
what you
but
would go
it's
for, risk or security?
sorry, what was the question, Dinesh bhai?
What you would choose, risk or security? You go for.
Can I can I say both? It depends on what it is I'm assessing. So I'll land on security because that's been the story of my life.
Correct. And for you, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever ignored?
So that's actually a tough one because of my upbringing. If
Mhm.
someone above you or more senior or superior to you said, this is true or you do that, then I almost always accepted that as being the thing. So the bit of advice that give to my younger self and I've kind
Mhm.
of resolved with is actually those people weren't right. You know what's right for you.
Very correct. Yes, it is. And your favorite thing to listen to while hiking with your dog.
Mhm. Uh, well, I like to listen to nature, so I don't listen to anything in my earbuds. I listen to the nature around me.
Mhm. Great. Yes. One action, one step at a time, and that you are not only preaching, but you are practicing also. Great. Well, for you, Sanjay bhai, can you please define impact in one word?
Impact. Uh, a lot depends on the context, but impact is when you are truly making a difference, whether that's in your life or in someone else's life.
Right. Well, I have still number of questions left, but time do not permit me. But well, on behalf of our platform, I truly thank you, Sanjay bhai. for
Thank you,
challenging us to
Dinesh.
move beyond more motivation and truly redefine success. We have learned that authentic transformation is built on purpose, resilience, and commitment to service. To our audience, remember his final call to action, and that is take that micro action tomorrow. The journey to meaningful life starts with movement. A heap of thanks to you, Sanjay bhai, for sharing your incredible thoughts with me and for all of our listeners. Each and every reply that you gave to our questions were very highly meaningful, and I'm sure those who are listening now and who will be listening afterwards will get lots and lots of not only knowledge, not only guidance, but a great inspiration from you, because you don't only preach but you practice it. It was a great session. Thank you so much, Sanjay bhai. I loved
Well,
it. I
thank you.
loved it. I loved it. It's
Hmm.
great.
Thank you,
Well,
Dinesh bhai. Namaste, and thank you for
hey,
having me on
namaste,
your
a very big
podcast.
namaste to you. And here is one more request to the great universe nature from this platform, that may God bless you with all power, wisdom, time, money, efforts, and everything, so that the work that you are doing, the service that you are doing, the mission that you have taken will be more empowered, more progressive, more go ahead, and you will shine forever. Please go ahead. May God bless you once again. So nice of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a lovely session. Wow.
Hmm.
Great. Let me stop the